Hi folks. Well, the International Whaling Commission, better known as the IWC, is holding a conference in Morocco. I guess they meet annually to discuss the future of whaling and perhaps lifting partially the ban on whaling. Well, just as this conference was about to begin, released from newspapers and news sites all over the world was a reprinting or reproduction from an article that originated in the London newspaper, the Sunday Times. Yeah, a very prestigious paper, says they. And of course these newspaper outlets and journalist outlets throughout the world gleefully reprinted this article as the gospel truth. Why? Because it nailed, or supposedly nailed, the Japanese as giving and offering bribes and prostitutes to members of the delegation in return for a favorable vote in lifting the ban on whaling. Now here's what happened. The newspaper, I guess with one of its reporters, posing as a delegate from the IWC as being a member from Switzerland, approaches a few of these delegates and says to them, now the delegates they approach are from these nations. They approached him and they said, hey, the Japanese bribed you for their vote. We'd like to bribe you for our vote to vote in favor of anti-whaling. So the delegates, they look at one another and they say to themselves, I guess, hey, what is this guy nuts? But if he wants to pay us money, we'll tell him the Japanese paid us and they have to top it. And that's in essence what happened. They said, sure, the Japanese bribed us, but you have to top the bribe to make us switch our vote. In other words, they made suckers out of the guys from the Sunday Times, whatever the name of that newspaper was, by trying to extract money out of you higher than the fictitiously, supposedly, the Japanese paid them. You were being scammed. You tried to entrap them, but they in essence were trying to scam you, and you fell for it. Not only that, then they says that when they met with the Japanese delegates, they provided us prostitutes. Now listen to me. Let's just, here's my contention on this. The newspaper said it had to be the truth because the delegates told them this. They never caught any of the Japanese engaging in any of this dubious activity. It was just hearsay from another party saying, sure, they gave us prostitutes, now you give us prostitutes. They gave us money, now you give us money. That's what that was all about. The Sunday Times got scammed, and the newspapers around the world, the news sites, gleefully picked it up because it was a negative article about the Japanese, and it allowed them to lambast and blast Japan for negative behavior because of their whaling stance. That's what that was all about. And to you morons who reprint it without asking yourself, but gee, where in this article did they catch the Japanese actually doing it? They didn't catch them. Also in the article, it mentions that some of these nations, if not all of them, receive foreign aid from the Japanese, and that's why they vote along with the Japanese when it comes to the IWC and the whaling issue, that they in essence are a bribe. To which I have to say, really? Japan's a generous nation. They give people money to help support these poorer nations. So in gratitude, these nations vote alongside with Japan, and you call that a bribe. You're a disgusting bunch. Once again, folks, it's another example of the liberal news media throughout the world who claim to be so tolerant, so inclusive, and yet their latent racism manifests itself in this manner. They do not like the Japanese for numerous reasons, none of which has to do with whaling, but they use their whaling as a masquerade to exhibit their racism. That's all that basically is, because that article was a lot of hooey. There was no legitimacy to that article. Alright, folks. Hi, folks. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya.
We are springing to the call for 300,000 more, shouting the battle cry of freedom.